Hello and welcome to Pola Maker. As you know, I deeply care about ambitious, intelligent and hard-working women who aren't nowadays promoted enough. Women who have much more to offer than a beautiful face, well-shaped body, fancy outfit or makeup. Women who are intelligent and highly educated and at the same time not looking like ugly nerds. Women who are beautiful both on the outside and inside, but choose in their life to be guided by their latter, by their ambition, hard work, intelligence and culture. And this is exactly what should be promoted, and I am myself going to promote it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a huge pleasure and honor to introduce to you yet another fantastic young lady I've worked with. Please let me introduce to you fantastic Zuzanna Kietlińska.
Hello.
Hello, cześć, jestem Zuzia, jestem z Warszawy. And I should probably start speaking in English.
It would be nice, yes.
Currently I study in London at UCL University. I've just completed my first year of law, which went quite good, and I made many friends and quite important things in my life which were possible thanks to my English.
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Do you remember, when was it when we started our cooperation? Was it 2 years ago or 3? I think 3.
3 years ago, I guess. It was because of the fact that I have a very lovely father who wants the best for me, and he knows that sometimes I can't really tell what is the new aim I'm trying to achieve, new goal. So I threw an idea. I want to speak English better because I wanted to feel comfortable. And as I read a lot, as I try to have quite a lot to say, I wanted to have an opportunity to say it in English as well, because I felt somehow limited in English. And he found you. Once I visited you once, I decided that this is a person who seems to have an idea for me, and I like people who share ideas.
Yeah, especially as I remember that it was some kind of exception, because it was not you personally who wrote to me, but it was your father who wrote to me on behalf of his daughter, and that was very interesting. So did you share with him the idea of speaking better? Was the idea of having better accent already there, or it came somehow afterwards, if you remember it?
I think it was mostly about comfort. So comfort comes with some sort of fluent way of speaking, so that I wanted to sound genuinely English, not Pole English, so that I told him what I want, but he was the one who spoke to you because I wasn't too self-confident, and I'd be quite afraid to write to such a person with such opinions on fora, because I think that I'm too weak for you.
You thought back then,
yes,
right?
Obviously.
That's very interesting what you're saying, because I remember that your father presented you in a relatively modest way, but I knew right away that you must be the very interesting and ambitious one, because he did mention something about dancing.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
actually around the period of time when you were finishing your dancing career.
Exactly.
Yeah, as I'm a dancer myself, this is when I felt that we could somehow click.
Yes, and I think that some qualities which I gained on the dance floor, they helped me during the process of learning, because I am persistent and I know that once I can't do something, it doesn't mean that I'm too weak for it. It means that I have to repeat. And I liked the way how you could translate some things during the process of learning to the process of learning of steps and things in dancing career-wise, because you knew what it's about. So yeah, it helped me a lot. Once you have some area in your life where you can show your ambition, then it's easier to translate it to another sphere.
But I'm also thinking, because you've just said that you didn't feel comfortable enough. Didn't dance give you, back then, this confidence? You know, like some kind of comfort of body and self-confidence when it comes to presenting yourself on the dance floor. Was it enough?
It was enough for me to be willing to say something, but there was this barrier of English, because my vocabulary was very narrow and I did want to say a lot, but I had no tools to do it.
I'm also thinking that you were back then at a very good school, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But the school, English at school, is mostly about filling in gaps. And I was quite fortunate. I don't want to say the name of this amazing professor because she is amazing. And she had a very, very broad knowledge, but an accent of a German lady speaking in English. So unfortunately, there was no way to copy something at school. I didn't know how to speak. I thought that maybe she speaks well, but I wasn't sure about anything. And that's why probably at the point when I came to you, my accent was so mixed that you said, okay, this word was American, this one was Polish, here you had a hint of British.
Yeah, that's exactly what I remember. It was like a total mixture. And I thought back then that it was mostly American culture inspired. Maybe it's simply somehow fashionable among teenagers nowadays. I mean, teenagers that you were back then. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe because many films and many TV series are American. So this is the easiest way to listen to English is to go for to see a film, to see a movie, and they speak with very hard American English mostly.
Did you have any initial expectations towards the classes, and did they meet them anyhow?
I think that I wasn't too demanding because my previous private teacher, she used to speak a lot in Polish. I never discovered why, because she wanted to share her story, but she did it in Polish. So I expected you to speak in English, and it wasn't too much. Okay. And everything you did more than that was a very pleasant surprise, which I appreciated, but I didn't demand more. So you met all the expectations and many, many more.
Okay. And what was the system of classes that you had? Because it was not a very standard one. We've done quite a lot of different things.
Yeah, we had many areas to explore because I knew quite little.
No, so I don't agree with this. I don't agree.
Okay.
It was already visible that you had pretty big knowledge. It just, I think, demanded some kind of putting it into right boxes.
Yeah, I guess it was crucial to make me confident enough about what I know already. So yeah, we started in general with some conversation about current issues, about some discoveries, about our stories, which was very pleasant because thanks to this, I started quite quickly liking you as a person. And now I still think about you like a person with whom I like to meet for a coffee.
Yeah.
So during this conversation, you also listed down words which I pronounced in the wrong way or words which I didn't know how to say in English. Then we went through the list, and the next part concerned pronunciation itself. So we've made many exercises of different kind, which is very nice because I never got bored. I never knew which book we're going to work with. You had different techniques, different methods, so that I could try and challenge myself to do even more. For example, I never felt comfortable with speaking with some poems or anything of the like. You made me read things that were written down out loud many times when I felt that I have some ball in my throat. And then when I went for a competition, for example, when I had to speak out loud in front of an audience, I felt that, okay, I've done it so many times, I can do it also now.
Especially there were many of them, right? Because you had so many opportunities to verify, actually, what your speaking really was. If you could enlist and say to our viewers what it was, because there were many of them, prestigious ones actually, you should boast about them.
Yeah, so one of which I'm quite proud of. Okay, I am quite proud of one competition which I won actually with my friend, and this is moot court competition where we were pretending to be lawyers, which is now something I'm trying to make my real career. So yeah, we went even to the court in Warsaw, to the national court, and we were speaking in English in front of very prestigious personas who were judging not only our arguments but also our persuasion language-wise, and also our skills in terms of putting our thoughts in words so that we don't offend the other party, but we quite persuasively say that, okay, we are right, you're not, which is a very difficult thing. And I guess that thanks to your, thanks to the fact that you put an emphasis on how you speak, not only what you say, made me a much better competitor.
And could you use it, or can you use it, when it comes to judging other people and assessing their elocution skills? Do you pay more attention?
Obviously.
Yes.
It was, I think, one of the first effects of your lessons, that I started listening to people in a different way, so that I became more judgmental, fortunately or not. But yes, I definitely tried to guess where they're from or how they approach such issues, because for me it also shows what a person represents themselves, whether they care about details or not, whether they're more practical or more elegant in terms of language, how they treat it. And I also started looking in a different way on people who said that, okay, I'm proud of having Polish accent while speaking in English, because then I'm sure that foreigners will appreciate that I speak in their language.
Yes, and I think you've already had many of such situations, right? And not even right now when you are in London, but in the past, I think during your holiday, you've had a couple of such situations.
Yes, I had a couple of situations when it proved, I proved myself to be right, or if this is the construction, because I met an English guy from London, actually, while I was in France, and we had a conversation one day. Then the next day we met for a coffee, because I was quite bored during the break weekend, and only after 2 days of conversations he asked me where exactly I'm from, so that we can meet once we're back home after holidays. And I said, oh, sorry, I'm from Poland. He couldn't really believe in it. He checked my ID to see whether I'm
really. Yeah. You didn't tell me about it.
He checked it so that he can see what is my surname. He couldn't believe in it, but it was so nice that then I felt, okay, I feel I have to do more in this direction.
Really?
Yeah.
But isn't it a little bit, I don't want to say sad, but maybe unfair? These are mostly native English speakers, or generally foreigners, who are more prone to saying you nice things and pay a compliment than, well, your countrymen that are usually not so polite, to say the least.
Yes, this is absolutely true, because Polish people have a lot of jealousy. Jealousy.
Well, we can name it jealousy, maybe we can name it, I know, frustration, or maybe some kind of disappointment of the education system, because, you know, I'm trying to see it from a little bit different perspective, right? Yes. Because it's just easy to put it and to call it jealousy, but maybe there are deeper emotions behind it. But yeah, well, anyhow.
Yeah, but decidedly they're more prone to pay attention to my different accent in a negative way. So that they say, okay, why are you trying so hard? It's so fake. Why are you doing it even when you're not British? And I said, okay, but I live in there and I want to be treated with some sort of respect, because I do see it that people approached me in a different manner when they hear my voice, rather than if they saw me as a foreigner.
Yeah, exactly. I have exactly the same thing. And to me, it's one of the biggest pleasure I can simply experience in life. That I even see, you know, this difference in somebody's gaze when they firstly see me and they think I'm some not super ambitious Ukrainian Russian girl, and then we start speaking and I can see in their eyes completely different attitude towards me.
This is very true. Yeah. This is very true, that even my boyfriend, actually, he told me that the first impression I made on him was, okay, it's an easy girl. And I was so angry with him once he told me about this several months afterwards, because he said, once you've opened your mouth, I knew that you're a different person. So this only shows how it's important to pay attention to.
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, when some Polish, not even Polish, generally some people are confronted with other people who speak way better than them, very often they react aggressively, and I think you've experienced that as well.
Yeah, it's very easy for them to say exactly some negative comments in a way that you're pretending you're trying to be somebody better than you are. But then after some time of reflection or several days, it depends how long we know each other, they happen to approach me to ask me, okay, wait, where did you get it? And then the story begins.
But has it happened to you that in the UK, some English native speaker somehow commented negatively on your accent or way of speaking?
In London, I never had any negative comment about my English. I even met a girl who used to be xenophobic, and once she found out that I can speak like this, I can be that much interested in her culture being a foreigner, she decided to slightly change her mind, which was quite a nice achievement, I think.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, talking about London, because right now we are speaking about London and our viewers might not know exactly how you ended up there. So if you could tell us the story. So what happened? Because that was exactly the moment when we were already finishing our cooperation after 2 years nearly. Yeah.
So firstly, I was in a high school, bilingual high school, where I was in an international baccalaureate class. I wrote my exams fairly well and went to London because I was accepted for studies there on University College London. And after many, many months of hesitations, I decided to start and tried to do it as well as I could.
How was this reality check, right? So after those kind of months, even actually in our case years of this, let's say, exercising in matrix a bit, right? Because, you know, we were somehow creating this little British bubble inside our class, but at the same time you had to go out and start living your normal life, keep going with your friends, with teachers who were maybe not the top-notch ones, and then you went there. What was the reality check? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember it well, and I think that the self-confidence which I gained thanks to the skills which you taught me helped me to open up for the new and helped me to speak out loud in a huge auditorium during lectures. When I knew something, when I read it beforehand, I wasn't afraid to speak and to somehow present my thoughts. So thanks to this, I was able to engage in classes, and thus I got way more from them rather than I would be able to do if I had some problems with speaking.
Mm-hmm. And what, in your opinion, was more important? Being able to understand the natives or being able to express yourself, or both?
I think that understanding is not that difficult because they speak in a very nice manner. The majority of them,
right? In this particular environment. Yeah.
Yes, in this environment. But it was really nice to be able to participate in a conversation with them, so that not only I understand and know what I'd like to say in Polish, but I can actually say it out loud in English. Because I remember very, very well when there were some situations during my dancing career when I was trying to explain to my teacher, English-speaking teacher, what I want to achieve, and I wasn't able to do it. So this somehow prevented me from achieving what I wanted to do, as I couldn't pronounce it out loud. And it was so frustrating that I didn't ever want to find myself in a like situation, and I never did.
But after how many months did you start having this feeling of self-confidence? Do you remember?
Approximately half a year, because then my mind clicked and I decided that I'm ready to try. And once I started trying, I started speaking more, started confronting it more. So the process fastened up, decidedly. Yeah.
Yes. And right now, changing a little bit of topic, because we all the time we are talking about why speaking is important, to which extent, how it can boost our self-confidence. But nowadays, this is not something which is extremely popular. What is promoted nowadays is being self-confident by means of your physicality, looks, plastic surgeries. I mean, let's face it, this is what it is, and I'm not afraid of speaking about it, even though I'm personally against, as you know. But what do you think, especially from your perspective of being a very young girl, being surrounded by your peers and being in the center of this culture? Because I think you are exactly the potential victims of such a mindset. What do you think about it? What is happening nowadays?
I think that looks is extremely important for both women and men, girls and boys, younger and older. But I am fortunate, extremely fortunate, to be surrounded by people who can put things, how to say it, to put values in a hierarchy so that they know what is more important than looks. But I live in a district of Warsaw where they have very different priorities in life, so that I meet girls who are already pregnant because they weren't bothered with the understanding the process, but they simply spend every second day in some sort of party. They have their lips done, they always have long nails, they always have fake tan. And I see that around my house I don't have any single school, any single place to somehow polish your skills, but I have 2 salarians, 3 hair makers, some
beauticians,
lots of those services, because they simply meet the demand.
Yeah, so, of course there is one, and we're not going to undermine it that it's needed, but at the same time, what really strikes me is putting this huge limelight on it and presenting it as the most important value that you might have in your life, value guaranteeing you some kind of success. And right now, that's another question. What is a success? I mean, what kind of success can we have being so young? Would you consider to be success?
I'd consider what I've already done as several steps from the very beginning, but my success is yet to happen.
Okay, still in front of you.
Yes, I somehow started a process to achieve something big. But what I think that many people want, they're impatient. They want to achieve something immediately. And looks is so easy. It's enough to spend several hours in front of a mirror, sometimes pay several thousands of zlotys, and you have effect immediately. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. You just have to wait several weeks until all the marks on your face fade out.
Yeah, exactly,
So I decided to aim higher. I don't really want to use this phrase. I decided to set a goal which needs time.
And what is it, if you could share with us, at least to some extent?
It's very abstract. I just want to feel good in my situation so that I completed all my plans. And I have very, very small plans which build up into one huge one, so that I want to reach comfort, both joining professional and private life.
Yeah.
So that professional leads somewhere through lawyer's career, and private is to be cared about by myself.
Yeah. And do you think that the self-confidence that you've gained, do you think is like long-lasting, or do you think that it still requires some time, like a regular time effort?
Absolutely no more effort.
No.
It's
impressive.
I think it's one click in your mind. When it's done, it can't be undone. Somebody would have to ruin me, doing something very, very bad to me, but already I have a wall in front of myself. I know what I'm worthy of, and they can't ruin it.
And what do you think people like you, what do they need to hear in order to be more successful, in order to be more powerful, in order to feel how they should be guided in life? Do you have any particular message that you like to share with people, or you think that there is something, because right now you have the power of a voice? I mean, the floor is yours. You can share something with people, either at your age or even older or younger. Do you think there is any particular message that you like to share with people?
I think that only one thing comes to my mind: to treat all the comments which will appear every day, that you do something wrong, that you exceed, that you pretend, to take them as compliments, because these are compliments. However, they come from people who are afraid to compliment you in a regular manner. So that never gets stopped by people who are jealous, because for me it's pure jealousy.
And how do you manage to somehow, come to terms with it? How do you manage to rationalize it?
I think it's just my situation. I could choose what to do with all those, and I could now be sitting somewhere hiding in front of the world because I started to pretend and I'd done something wrong. Or I can sit here, talk to you, and be self-confident as I am.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's just I was confronted with it, and I had a choice, and I made a choice which I strongly recommend to do. to make.
And even coming here and participating in this interview was already a sign and manifest of your confidence and bravery. I think we can call it bravery. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
This was Zuzia speaking to you and showing that it is possible to be a beautiful young girl with such well-shaped character, integrity, fantastic personality, and amazing British accent. And there are more women like this, and there are more of us there, and we would like to be appreciated and given credit for our hard work. Because this is hopefully the future of this world, led by independent, intelligent, strong, and classy women. If you'd like to know more of them, please follow my channel and a series of inspirational interviews I have huge pleasure to prepare for you. See you next time.